Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to Sonic X Shadow Generations. Well, now that we've pretty much got Kingdom Valley done and out of the way, it's time to move on to, well, let's just say, browner, more destroyed pastures. But in the meantime, excuse me, just had some delicious meals. And, yeah, now we have another mission on our hands. In this case, a timed mission where you pretty much need to grab the stopwatch and ensure that you get there in time and pretty much chase it to its change it to its next, change it? God, what is going on with my diction this afternoon? Pretty much grab it and take it to its next destination until you get it completed, and then you get another tasty bit of artwork. Now, as you also might have noticed with the ring challenges that we've also been doing, yeah, you also have two different specific rankings there, the first of which being great! Where you pretty much get there, you know, within the golden allotted time, and the other of which being, well, just regular, completed it, congratulations, whatever. I don't know if this affects anything, like if you get anything extra for, you know, completing it within a quicker allotted time, but, yeah, I mean, if you're getting it towards, you know, the red, you know, when it starts playing the Shadow the Hedgehog Chaos Control music, yeah, that's pretty much when you get in the regular rank. If not, then you should be able to get the great rank. It's said in Silver's Pete Capella 2006 voice. But yeah, putting all that aside though, some of these challenges, they can be mighty tight. Like the belt around your pants when you eat too much dinner. But yeah, putting all that aside, we'll pretty much get an extra bit of Joe Robotnik's diary, and after that, well, we're pretty much exploring, part 3 of our hub world. In this case, pretty much being this major area. Yeah, looks rather familiar for those of you who remember a certain infamous game in 2017. Yeah. Oh, well, before we get to any of that, this next challenge, which is basically pretty much a take on some of the other challenges we get during, well, some of the action stages with, destroying targets, getting rings, and, yeah, Bob's pretty much your uncle. But in any case, this is also pretty much allowing us to get a bit of the $10 tour of this, well, destroyed place. Which, for those of you who are around the Sonic fanbase in 2017, know exactly where we are. But in the meantime, though, I'll play a bit of dumb. Not just me, but my double. And just, build up the suspense as we travel around. Again, as I mentioned beforehand, this is also a place to test your abilities, so, you know, there are still some Black Arm soldiers bopping about. You can use them to use your Doom Blast capabilities, Chaos Control, all the fun-filled elements of the rainbow, and, you know, pretty much just use them to get a lot of the unlockable chests. We don't really have a lot of the items for you. Well, no, we don't really have a lot of the icons for them yet, so in the meantime, though, we're gonna have to get a few of them, and gradually pick them up a bit later, but, yeah, plenty of challenges abound to test out your abilities, and, yeah, what the opening hub world really serves to do here, and I am curious if they're gonna carry this on into the next main series Sonic game, well, for the 3D ones anyway, is if they're gonna use this more as a playground as opposed to, well, what I had in Frontiers, where you are actually meant to explore, travel around, and, you know, find different pieces of, well, the ancient civilization, which, you know, I'll get more into that as we get into that game, but, as we're traveling around here, it does kind of make me wonder if, you know, maybe the negativity that Frontiers got was intended to, well, kind of result in what we're seeing pretty much all around here, you know, in the sense that it's more a playground for your abilities, and, not really much else. Again, it might be just a one-game deal, so yeah, I can't really say for certain, but either way, it's curiosity for a later date, I suppose. In the meantime, as we Chaos Control over to our next destination, yeah, that music sounds a bit familiar, and here we go, Sunset Heights from Sonic Forces. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my god, the complete contrast between fucking Sonic Forces and what those have with this level, which a lot of people thought was actually going to be the first level of the game, but it ended up being halfway through, compared to here, where it's, God, it's a completely different can of worms, a lot more involved, a lot more action-oriented, and, you know, a lot more unique stage gimmicks abound, and, honest to God, a really fun fucking stage, which, again, isn't really to knock Sunset Heights in Forces either, because, well, again, for whatever accolades it's worth, that was one of the more fun stages in Sonic Forces, but yeah, there's no fucking competition. I mean, the Shadow Generations version completely knocks it out of the fucking park, and, yeah. I mean, I would say that this is what Sonic Forces should have, really entailed in terms of its design, but yeah, I think everybody said their piece when it comes to Sonic Forces, so, neither here nor there in this case. What I will say though is that again, it does embody a lot of its, you know, a lot of its stage layouts and, you know, a lot of its design with intertwining, you know, some of the more realistically designed, what I think was meant to be based on Amsterdam buildings with, you know, some of the more cartoony aesthetics of Lost World, but I don't know, it all ties together a bit better nicely here, and in terms of, you know, what it utilizes, what you get to explore, and, you know, how much of the city you get to see, I don't know, it's quite fun. I mean, even some of the stage houses, like, again, a lot of the Death Egg robots that you see in the background. Yeah, in Sonic Forces, they were pretty much just purely visual decoration. Here, they actively attack you. I mean, again, it's just... I mean, it feels like they're really making much better usage out of, you know, the stage hazards, what they have as props, and, you know, how they incorporate them into the level design, which, you know, does make me wonder if, you know, maybe some of the same people that got their start on Sonic Forces wanted to use this as a bit of a makeup present. Even this here, this is a fucking sick-ass thing that you never would have seen in a Forces that would have been basically just like a quick-time event. Yeah. But I mean, again, I don't know what sort of level designers they really have working on this game. I'd assume some of them were probably people that got their start on Forces because, well, I mean, to kind of talk about a bit of Sonic Forces development history, yeah, only one designer was left over from Lost World. The other two were completely fresh out of the cradle, so, yeah. Talk about cutting your teeth, not that it really did Forces many favors, but, you know, multiple pathways and, you know, actual areas of meaning and significance with a lot more interactive design to boot, so really, yeah. I mean, either the new designers learned their lessons or, you know, that was a bit heavier of a design document to really pass around and see how people enjoy the stage. Anyway, I am aware that I did sort of skip over the new unique stage gimmick, but we'll be getting into that in a little bit. In the meantime, however, well, let's just say that Black Doom, he ain't finished with us just yet, so cutscene go now. Very enjoyable. And, well, I mean, again, this has kind of been demonstrated all throughout the, you know, the whole, the game, really, but, yeah, city being contorted and, you know, sort of being warped about space and time. It does kind of make me wonder whether or not, and again, kind of fitting speaking of Sonic Forces, it does actually make me wonder whether or not Infinite was initially meant to be a boss or a part of this game, but no, he is actually nowhere to be found, and I suppose that does sort of make sense because he didn't exist around about the point of Sonic Generations, but, well, how's he going to be seeing for a certain inclusion of a future game? Well, okay, technically we already have the inclusion of a future game with, Forces here, but, yeah, kind of strange that he never really makes an appearance when a certain other boss does. But yeah, seems very reminiscent of what the Phantom Ruby could do with how it sort of warps reality about. Or if maybe Black Doom was going to be working for him or manipulating him in some way. I'm not really too sure what to think of it at this stage, but I mean, either way, it is still quite an interesting stage gimmick, so yeah, quite a lot of fun, really. But in any case, what Black Doom is also talking about all throughout this level is, again, quite fitting throughout the rest of the game, talking about how Shadow isn't ready yet. He's being prepared for something. And I mean, I will say this, I mean, I am glad that they pretty much abandoned the whole old Shadow join the darkness because we're evil and you hate the humans because fucking whatever, it's just manipulation. To put it mildly, is not Black Doom's strong point, both, you know, in his own game and, well, this game in particular, if he's even trying that. But no, instead he's pretty much just sort of, you know, playing for time and, let's just say he's putting Shadow on a bit of a ruse cruise just to get his way, and, I don't know, it arguably makes Doom a little bit more of a devious villain than what he otherwise would be. In any case, though, yeah, Sunset Heights Act 1, really great 3D stage, really fun all about, and I just love this fucking stage, and even though this one segment here kind of rips off the Courtney Gears planet from Ratchet & Clank 3, I don't know, I'm just a sucker for spiral pink lights and travelling down a, well, a vortex of mysterious proportions. Although, then again, it does also kind of bear resemblance to the Phantom Ruby, so, you know, do have to wonder, was Infinite meant to be a part of this game? I mean, he is technically mentioned if you get the little bio thing from Sonic, well, I mean, if you get the bio about Sonic Forces from, you know, the treasure chest in this game, but, yeah, apart from one curt mention, Infinite is never seen in the game at all, which, I mean, I guess they technically consider him to be the new... Well, again, I guess for those of you who are around the Sonic fan base in the early 2010s, late 2000s, you know, he was pretty much the cat in the sense that, oh no, bad character, can't totally mention him, even though I'm gonna fathom a guess that both, like, you know, back when Infinite was first revealed and when the game's finally released, and in turn later on down the line, that he'll pretty much be revitalized as a sort of meme character, but... yeah, well, I'm really not too sure what to make of it. Either way, the salient point I was trying to make is that it's a bit of a shame that we didn't get a... I guess what would have been a really cool revised Infinite boss fight, but... neither here nor there in this case, and even in 2D, which Forces seem to like quite a bit, probably because the stages were easier to design. Holy shit! Look at the atmosphere of this level. Sunset Heights, you know, during the grayscale rainy days, the atmosphere is really on point, and it does kind of sell the very miserable... kind of, I wouldn't say melancholic, but at least this sort of desperate atmosphere that, you know, a lot of the music is also portraying about, you know, what these Death Egg robots are doing to the civilians as their homes are being destroyed and everything's just all around miserable. See, even in an otherwise, like, paltry 2D stage, it's going really fucking well. And also making use out of the Death Egg robots as stage hazards. Really great fucking things. Also paying homage to the episode Shadow stuff, where Shadow could pretty much fly his way up a trail of buzz bombers. Again, it seems like I'm gushing about the stage, and to be honest, I am, but that's just because they've really handled the stage and its gimmicks really well, which, again, is absolutely fantastic. I love Sunset Heights, developers have done this stage justice, and yeah, I have a lot of fun with this one. In any case, though, to sort of talk about some of the stage hazards that I didn't get a chance to talk about beforehand would be with some of the elite Black Arms units who, again, have actually been given new life in the stage, not with having high-powered blasters like they did in Shadow's game, but instead by, well, sort of having like this little Shadow clone technique where they'll pretty much launch, you know, phantom versions of their bodies, and pretty much use them to rush Shadow. Use your Chaos Spear abilities, or Doom Spears, I suppose, and then utilize them to, well, you know, get the drop on them, take them out multiple at once, and again, they'll pretty much stop Shadow from getting ouchied to death. So are those meant to be time portals, or are they meant to be Infinite launching them out from the... whatever. I'm done with talking about that at this stage. In the meantime, though, let's explore another facet of, well, what was otherwise just a minor area when you explore these stages as Sonic and the Avatar character. And something that does actually get a really cool, expansion here. Namely, the sewer system of Sunset Heights. Now, there are multiple pathways you can go through. You can either, you know, take the lower sewer entrance down there by getting blown down by those little floodgates over there, or you can instead take the upper pathways and, you know, look slick and silky as hell, so... yeah, this is, again, another example of me just showing just how many different pathways you can take, even in 2D, which... again, as I mentioned beforehand, again, play with the camera a little bit, you know, utilize your 3D setting to the best of your ability, and again, you can make... you know, a lot of 2D games look a bit more higher budget and look a little bit more stylish than what they otherwise would, and... I don't know, it's, there's a lot of unique ways you can make 3D artistry with, you know, 2D gameplay look interesting, which, I mean, again, I don't really have much time to go into it now, but again, I probably will bring this up a little bit later, perhaps in the next part where we have a lot more to talk about, but... again, there is a way to make, you know, 3D graphics with 2D artistry, 2.5D I think is the proper term, and, you know, make it look really fucking stand out and fucking sick as hell. Not just through its gameplay means, as we're seeing here, but generally also with, you know, a lot of ways in which you can utilize 3D to your advantage. 3D and 2D, working together. It's a classic Sonic fan's worst nightmare, because the 3D was where the classic Sonic went wrong, with the green eyes and hand-talk wheels, and the late 2000s era, ranting and raving, I'm Solidus-Skully, can't keep this voice up, catch you later, goodbye!
Maria! Thank you, Shadow.
Where did you learn to fight like that?
They must be from a point in time before the Ark disaster. Perhaps I can change their fate.
Shadow? You look grim. Are you alright?
I'll be fine. We'll all be fine. Find somewhere safe to hide. I'll take care of everything.